And we're rolling with Chats with Colsey. Welcome, everyone. We're going to have an awesome show today. We have some big global topics to talk about, none other than the grilling of Dr. Fauci and the invasion of Europe once more in Spain. But I'm not by myself today. I've got some legends with me. Please welcome Annika Uncensored and the man himself, Mad Unit.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for coming, guys. Thank you.
We are going to have a big chat. What should we talk about first? I know that, Annika, you were really traumatized by the COVID ordeal, and it's left some big scars and big things that you always love to bring up, and it's made you very skeptical of the world, I would say. And
all of us have.
Mad Unit too. Sorry, yeah. No, I'm not as scarred.
But I'm saying everyone on the planet has
society,
some kind of story.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
and,
absolutely.
I've been personally.
The things that have come to light this week are unbelievable, and it just makes everyone who was looking like who they called cookers or liars just justified
vindicated
and just totally flipped the tables and made everyone else look foolish, and the whole industry of medicine and science and the government regulations look like totally phony. So how did it make you feel, Annika, with Dr. Fauci, with all that getting revealed this week? It was incredible.
I think it just confirmed everything that I speculated, everything that I had gut feelings about but no real evidence to provide has just been confirmed, and there's still people that don't want to believe it.
So did it make you feel good? Did it vindicate you? Did you have? I think you would have had a lot of satisfaction this week.
I did, but you still can't control how people perceive it, right? So there's people that will still believe what they believed and stick to that narrative because this doesn't fit within their box. So for me, it was more a clarification of I'm not crazy, and the people that did feel the way we all felt, it's unfortunate that it's true.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we were right.
Yeah, you're right. There's some people who just refuse to see the truth. Like, I notice a lot of people online will still blame Trump as if he was the problem. But back time, I think he was trying to push back on it, but he was really swamped by the
he was being controlled.
The science.
He was being controlled, but at the same time, he was the sort of forefather of warp speed. So he probably didn't even want to do it, but he had to do it because obviously when you're a president, those people in the suits come and tell you what to do. So that's
and millions of people are dying, and it's at risk, and it's a pandemic.
Tell you one fact about Fauci before I'll let Annika continue. Fauci has never set foot in practice ever. I think it was back in the late 60s or early 70s where he finished med school. And he's been a bureaucrat ever since. He has never practiced medicine. So how can he be the sole arbiter of world health when he's not practiced medicine
That's really
at all?
Interesting, because I keep hearing online that the people who defend him say he's still one of the greatest scientists in the
practiced
world. So he doesn't own a white jacket, you don't think?
That's the same as Bill Gates.
Doesn't have a test tube.
He's just got a doctorate, and we know how easy it is to get a doctorate. Marine Farouk has got a doctorate. She's got a doctorate of environmental engineering, so she's got doctor in front of her name.
God.
The word doctor after COVID has lost all its meaning.
Yeah, it's no credibility anymore because they were just paid to say what.
Doctor means nothing now.
Yeah. They were paid to tell us how to think, and a lot of people believed it. And if you didn't believe that, you're a cooker.
Trust the science.
Which TV station came up with that term? Cooker. Was it Channel 9 or Channel 7?
I don't know. But
probably both.
Pretty sure it was Channel...
They probably put their two brain cells together to come up with it.
Yeah, people still call me that online. I've got this one guy who's Colsey the cooker. He doesn't even know that. And,
you should change your name to that.
Is he a boomer? Did you see his profile? Does he look like a boomer?
Oh yeah, he lives in Mossman.
There you go, boomers. Every time anyone that still believes it, especially back then, but especially now, the people that still believe the whole thing are the boomers.
I want an apology from that guy right now. Yeah, I mean, that cooker now means you're the truth teller. So
I'm loyal to the file. I'm proud of it.
Validated.
Sure, you are too, Annika.
Yeah.
Critical thinker.
That's right. Think for yourself and don't.
Like a badge of honor.
I regret getting that thing. I regret it. I'm sure everybody. I don't know anybody that regret. I don't know anyone that regrets not taking it. But I know plenty of people, including myself, that regret taking it.
Yeah, it had a massive impact on you.
Absolutely.
Imagine your health, and it's taken a massive journey with a lot of people as well. It's not just you. There's just reports.
Cancer went through the roof.
Yeah,
and it happened to me.
Yeah, tell us about that a little bit. Obviously, you don't have to delve straight. It's obviously an ongoing issue.
I had a look. I didn't get the jab on my own accord. It was coerced by family. Someone in my wife's family, said, "Oh, if you don't get it, you're not going to see our son." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, I'll get it. I didn't want to get it. I just went and got it." 12 weeks later, I dropped at home, and I've got stage 4 cancer everywhere. Apparently, within 12 weeks.
Yeah.
One doctor told me, because I had no idea. One doctor actually told me, he goes, "That does not make sense. Not that it caused the cancer, but you had a cancer already.
Trigger or something.
You had a cancer already, and because the jab knocked out your T cells that would usually fight the cancer itself, they were concentrating on the vaccine now, so the T cells weren't fighting cancer anymore." So he said, "You would have probably copped symptoms later in your life, but because you got jabbed, that's why it happened so fast." And he actually asked me for the batch number of the jab. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck's going on? But then the doctors in the hospital, the nurses in the hospital said they're not allowed to talk about it. Because I've become very close to a lot of nurses and a lot of doctors in public systems. They just said, "Look, we're not allowed to talk about it."
Yeah, they got all sent letters from APRA saying if they do, they'll lose a registration.
So you think of how many people have had reported adverse reactions. Now, obviously, Fauci is responsible for COVID itself, but also the jabs. We don't really... Look, we know how many people have passed from COVID, but the vaccines have been underreported. And I would say it's underreported by a factor of at least 100, because when I tried to go and report it, I got a lot of pushback. I had politicians on my side. I had politicians talk about me in a hearing thing, and also with a whole bunch of other people that got cancer afterwards, and the TGA ignored it. But I still managed to report it eventually, but nothing happened.
Yeah, it turns out that COVID was a massive compliance test.
It was a compliance test. It was a humiliation ritual and a compliance test, correct?
Yeah. Hey, Annika, that reminded me of something that you posted recently about cancer. It's a little bit off topic. We'll get back to COVID. But you were saying, I think your post was about how if you believe sunscreen protects you from cancer. I wanted to ask you about that because I'm a bit confused. Maybe I'm not awake on that. But I guess because I know sunscreen does keep me from going like a lobster.
Yeah.
I know it definitely protects me from sunburn.
Yeah.
But I guess what's coming out is maybe the link between cancer. Is that what you're saying? Tell me about that.
Yeah, look, obviously I'm no doctor. But...
neither is Dr. Fauci.
Like Dr. Means
I could
anything.
be.
Like Dr. Means anything.
Yeah. So I think it was about 6 months ago, Banana Boat actually released that a lot of their products, especially their SPF, has a known carcinogenic in it. And it was like 40 other ingredients that I think it was half of them were banned in like 52 different countries.
She's right.
Germany being one. So, and for a long, long time as well, not just as of recent. These ingredients products have been banned for 30, 40 years plus in certain countries.
And
but
apparently
not
the
within
Cancer
Australia.
Council one also did have the same problem. That's the one that the Cancer Council sold.
Yeah. So, look, I'm not saying that, the radiation, the UV rays don't cause damage, but everything's within moderation, right? If you're going out sitting in the sun forever, every day on end in summer, in the scorching heat with high UV rays, obviously there's going to be some sort of bad with good. For me, I came here middle of summer from Ireland. I'm as white as a ghost. I have never worn sunscreen in this country. I don't go and sit in the sun. I do tend to cover up quite a lot, but I know that my skin type can't take it. Just like you said, if you do sit in it, you'll be red like a lobster. Absolutely. I'll stand out for 10 minutes and be absolutely burnt. So for me, I know I don't do that, so I don't go and sit in the sun.
It's just personal responsibility.
Yeah, but in terms of sun cream, I've never been one to wear it. I think my whole stance against doing the norm is just I actually hate authority and hate being told what to do. So whatever everyone's doing, I'm going to do the opposite regardless. Even from a young age.
Yes.
15 years old, sitting on the beach without sun cream, straight off the plane in Ireland, winter there, it's summer here. You'd think I'd be mad to do that. And I did. I learnt my lesson. I got 3rd degree burns and I was covered in blisters.
What?
Yeah. I was covered in blisters.
Shit. Like a medical book.
Oh, so bad. But that was because I laid in the sun for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Peak summer here.
What's the weather like in Ireland? Like, how many sunny days do you get per year? I heard
you probably get. I mean, look, it depends, but summer is not summer. Like right now, my brother is actually flying to Ireland today, and we were looking at the weather last night. It's 19 degrees there and raining for the rest of the week, and that's probably the warmest it will get over there. And it's August, so it's summertime over there.
Yeah, and that's why people from Ireland and that part of the world have fair skin, because they're not exposed to the sun as much.
Yeah.
Like people like myself, we're sand people, so
you've got the pigment for it.
I'm half sand person, so we've been designed to be able to cope with the sun in the desert. So
Or melanin.
I just turn, it's melanin, so I just turn brown in summer.
Yeah, but in regards to statistics in terms of skin cancer, if you have a look when sun cream was introduced and the rates of skin cancer, it just is gradually increasing.
Right. So
Yeah.
are you saying that it's got something to do with the ingredients in the sunscreen that might be causing cancer? Is that the
Yes.
theory?
Yeah.
So it's not just the sun, it's the cream itself which might be contributing.
Yeah, I think it's like a accelerator almost. And look, everyone's different, of course. There's going to be some people that will experience the bad of it. There'll be some people that won't have a problem with it their whole life. But in
Yes.
pattern recognition, I think that if you look at the statistic side of it, why did it only start to come into play when sun cream was introduced?
And the skin is obviously our protection from the elements and protection from the sun, but it's also a way for the body to absorb things. So if you put something onto your body, so that's why they have, nicotine patches and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Because the skin
Straight into the
absorbs
pores.
and it goes straight into the bloodstream through the
Yep.
pores. Correct, that's
So
right.
you're
So if
getting
you've got
side
something,
effects.
so if you're rubbing something into your skin that's got something that shouldn't have, it's obviously going to end up in your bloodstream, as
Yeah.
Annika's saying. So that is, that's what's basically happening.
Just one of the rules I remember that was brought out this week was the 6 feet rule, where I remember even watching the sport on TV. They interview people after the game.
Oh,
the reporter
God.
was here, and the person reporting the game. Meanwhile, they've spent 2 hours, sniffing each other, tackling
Yeah.
each other, sweating on each other.
Make it make sense.
And then the reporter has
Yeah, I
to
remember
stand
that.
6 feet away
Right,
from
you're
and do an interview with a long thing. I just thought, this is just... I put something up on Facebook. It's crazy.
You're right. I remember that they had the extended microphone booms. That's so true. Because the virus couldn't catch you if you were 6 feet away, and the virus couldn't catch you if you were sitting and having dinner.
Yeah.
If you were sitting and having dinner, the virus couldn't get you. But if you were standing and having dinner, it'll get you. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, no
If
dancing.
if you were standing with a drink and if you were dancing, the virus gets
You had to have the mask on if you were ordering a drink, but
Yeah.
if you were drinking the drink, you could take the mask off.
It kind of makes you think, like, was that actually real? Why did everyone comply?
It seems
is
like such
the
a
answer.
blur.
Is the question, sorry.
Look,
Yeah.
people were scared. At the end of the day,
It's fear, and mostly from the lefties, maybe
they wanted it.
They love these compliance things and safety. Government, please protect us from
Yeah.
this. Someone said it's really bad, so we're very scared.
You know something relevant
Say
to
it and
now.
please say it and we'll do it.
Yeah, You
Yeah.
know that Josh Lee's guy is right. The guy that's the leader of the Palestine Action Group.
Oh yes.
Right. Do
you know him,
He's a
Annika?
Is he's always got the scarf on
Yes,
and
he's
a
he's
white-
got long hair,
Yes,
longish hair?
yes,
Yeah.
he's a professional protester. He's a Soros-funded protester. Okay,
He's an
I'm sorry,
embarrassment.
but he's a funded Soros.
He's trying to
agitator.
start. Start a socialist party in Australia.
Yeah. He is paid off.
Come on
by-
the show, mate.
He's a
Come on the show.
professional.
Yeah.
He's a professional protester. He started off in COVID. He was in COVID pushing for more lockdowns.
Wow.
Before
right. Was that his
Palestine,
beginning?
he
Yeah.
was a thing. He was a
A
thing.
lot of activists began in COVID. Yeah.
They just picked. He's just picked a new thing. He's picked Palestine now as his new thing because that's the new thing he's been told to talk about.
a trend.
But before he was told to talk about COVID and push more lockdowns because they wanted more government overreach. That's what the left wanted. The left wanted more. And who's got the monopoly on violent force? The government,
Yes.
because they've got the pew pews. People
Yeah.
are scared. People are
they
scared
jump on other political issues as convenience, and now I did a reel I think the other day just about Kangaroo Jack because I'm really loving what he's talking about. He's talking about unity between
I love
Australians and
Kangaroo
Aboriginals, and really we need Aboriginals to voice up like him against mass immigration because that's very powerful. Because those people that we're talking about, the Palestinian Action Group, etc., they are hijacking the Aboriginal cause and trying to make themselves like
like
their
one.
cause is the same as
That's
us.
right. And
They have the Palestinian flag and the Aboriginal flag.
Yeah.
And just like, but it's really just for their own convenience. Whereas the Aboriginal people and the white people have got a long history together. But yeah, so those people.
And we get along with, like, everyone gets along with the Aboriginal people. No one's got issues with it, but they use them as a scapegoat. That's correct. And you hear Maroon Faruqi lately when she got vindicated after Pauline Hanson got her case
that
dismissed
was
or whatever.
hot news this week, yeah.
This is great news for
It was
the
a court
Indigenous.
case, yeah.
Yeah,
She
this
won a
is
court
great.
case. What is going on with the legal system here?
Might I add the same
Oh, shit.
federal court
This is
that sorry, the same federal court that can't identify a woman.
that yeah, it's so true, so true. But she goes and says this is for all people of color and all the Indigenous peoples all around the country. This is a vindication day for them or whatever she said. But you're right. This is the same court that can't figure out what a woman is after that.
What a
court case.
blight on our legal system. I think most people have got gripes and complaints about the legal system, how long things take and how things just get stuck on silly little arguments. And to me, it's a real embarrassment, a real blight on the legal system that they can bring this up in court. As Pauline Hanson was talking about on the monoculture thing this week, where she she was talking about that people actually choose to come to Australia, right? So you choose to come to Australia, and then and so you're choosing the Australian culture. So what would you say to Marine Faruqi or Fatima Payman, Annika? Like, they came here, they chose Australia. So what should they be doing? And if they're trying to change it, what should we tell them to do?
Well, one, they're in the Australian Parliament, so you should be taking the voice of the Australian people and what they want.
Bingo.
You're funded by the Australian taxpayers, which is ourselves. And
You're trying to use too much common sense here, Annika.
And I don't like is what Marine Faruqi has done. She's actually read from the Quran in Parliament.
Yeah, I agree.
If you don't like the foundation that Australia was built on, which is Christian values, piss off back to Pakistan. You can stand in Parliament and say, oh, you white people, but you've come to a majority white country. What do you expect? Of course, their first language is going to be English.
I don't personally find it racist. I really wouldn't.
No.
If someone told me to piss off back to some country, even though I'm born here,
Exactly.
even though they
And
do
the
it,
thing-
I don't feel that that's racist. I don't feel offended by that.
If we go back to Pauline Hanson, the reason she said it, Marine Faruqi, she did a post when literally the Queen died.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Queen died, and she basically disrespected the Queen, the whole empire.
Well, the Commonwealth.
Basically, the whole culture.
That's right. It was
And so, of course, you're going to tell someone to piss off.
That's what it was in response to that.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And you know what?
in response.
She is in. Marine Faruqi is in Parliament, right? She needs a thicker skin than this. She's got a lot of skin, but she needs a thicker skin.
Yeah.
If she's going to be in Parliament, she needs to be able to deal with criticism, because that's what politicians are meant to be for,
100%.
to get criticism from the Australian
So
people.
she's at fault
And
for
they-
taking it to court, and then the court's an absolute disgrace for upholding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But and she I think she's going to try to appeal. I heard she's going to
Going
try
to
to
the High
appeal
Court,
it
yeah.
in the High Court, and I hope that she does well. But she's a woman that stood on her grounds and principles.
Here's an interesting question for you. So that's a precedent, right? So is it because Pauline Hanson's in Parliament that she can... I don't even know what the penalty is. Did the court give a penalty? I don't know. But just say...
If the case is dismissed, no, I don't think so.
But it hasn't been dismissed, has it?
Was it dismissed?
I don't know. No, I think it was ruled that it was racist.
Oh no, sorry, her appeal was dismissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what's the
She can't
penalty for
appeal
Pauline?
again.
I don't think they've
have a
sentenced
look.
or anything. But my question is, okay, so that's one
monetary.
thing. But this week we've heard lots of people on social media tell her to piss off back to Pakistan. I mean, Annika's just said it now. So my question is she able to sue everyone who says that? Or is it just because Pauline's in public life and they're in the same sphere, was it okay to go to court? Is that a reason?
Well, the problem
Yeah.
is
It's like a win.
the process is the
But can
punishment.
she sue you for what you've said?
I mean, if we're going to be...
Or would the police just say, oh, shut up, that's for social media? Because this is pretty important for people like us who say things on social media. Like,
yeah.
It has set a precedent. And look, she's able to use taxpayer money
To do that.
fight legal.
Yeah.
Where you can't, I can't.
No.
And it's the process of the punishment, and it's basically the legal system is not. It's not a legal system. Sorry, it's not a justice system. It's a legal system, and it's about money. So it's basically a competition to see who runs out of money first. The Marine
That's
Faruqi's not
right.
going to run out of money.
Yeah.
You will. I will.
Yeah.
Gina won't.
No. Hope
No, Gina can,
Thankfully
can
not.
fund Pauline's
like Gina.
court case.
I love Gina. I don't, but see, that's another topic we can talk about. Is everyone complains about billionaires and stuff like saying how Gina is funding Pauline and whatever, but there's billionaires funding the Labor Party and the Greens, and then you got the unions funding Labor as well, and you got them funding the Liberals. True
Donations,
What do you
all the
think?
donations are from majority billionaires or millionaires into the
So she's
Labor
got
Party.
one.
Yeah.
They've got how many?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this week, Albo was called out for having a dinner with a son of a Chinese businessman who had
Felix Lee, yes.
siphoned billions of dollars through casino gambling. He was known about for decades in 2010, 2014. Why is he having dinner with him?
That's so, and he
Because he's going to get donations.
For a to be a donor.
And did you see his squirming response when he was actually questioned?
Yeah.
He goes, look, I attend a lot of dinners, and I attend a lot of dinners.
I go to
and a
lots
lot
of functions.
and I had another dinner with 750 people here tonight.
I change positions and I blame the circumstances and I have a lot of functions.
But what is the agenda here? Why would a son of a billionaire want to have a dinner with a prime minister? How do you get in touch with?
How can I get Albo to come to my house?
I'd love to invite him over and have a dinner. But the Chinese are not allowed to. They're not allowed to send more than $50,000 away from China because it's a communist country, right? So what they do is they do it through Unless you got a specific excuse, like if you want to send a kid to school or you want to buy a house or whatever, then you can. But also money laundering is a thing. That's why the casino's so rampant. That's why the Crown lost their license. That's actually what happened because of all the money laundering. And they basically use the casinos to funnel money from China to Australia so they can buy property.
Yeah.
And that's, I probably, look, can't make making assumptions here, but I would assume there's something to do with some kind of property empire that they have and wanting to buy property in Australia. And
yeah, you're right.
His dad has been busted for it.
What
before.
about recently? Albo was on a lefty podcast and he was saying they asked him about Kylie Minogue and said, "Would you date, shag, or kiss her or something like that?"
Above.
How does that make you feel as a female, Annika? What did you think? Were you thinking, "Ooh, that's a bit cringy"? I mean,
look, I think if it was, and this is me being completely honest, if it was someone that I actually like, I'd probably be like, ha ha ha. But I hate Albo, so I'm gonna
Everyone does.
I'm gonna be negative about it. But look, I think the position he has and going on something and answering that is completely unprofessional.
But the worst thing was that he backed away from it the next day. Just stand on it and say, "Hey, I find her attractive, and I'd like all of those things. What about it?" But no, he was like, no. But he won't apologise for any of his gross lies or his other things.
But you know what? When he went on Karl Stefanovic's podcast, obviously his team of whoever, they would have told Karl what he can and can't talk about and what the questions can be. So this one, was that run by his team? They're like, that's a good idea.
You know what? That's a very good. That's a very good point. That's a very.
They
good
didn't expect the backlash.
No, they probably thought, everyone's going to love this because, well, Kylie Minogue, like she's iconic. But
and if you had some integrity, everyone would have loved it. But we know you're so weak on every issue, and you're going to back down and say sorry.
Look, I'd assume that they did have show the agenda of questions. I'm sure that they did, but he just probably answered it in a very stupid way.
Yeah,
but Karl would have got grilled a lot more than that. You know, that feminist podcast, whatever it was. I don't know what it was.
Correct.
But
well, he was on a lefty podcast, so they thought whatever you do will be fine because you know that's a positive environment for you. Whereas Karl's probably a little bit more like, we're going to test you, a lot more cookers, right-wing people watching it who are going to pick it apart. Yeah.
Oh, I was actually pretty disappointed with that podcast that he did with Albo. I thought he was going to go a bit harder in his questions.
Karl Stefanovic?
Yeah, I thought he was going to go a bit harder and ask him some pretty tough questions. I know there was a few things in there that was pretty controversial, like the dark forces and whatnot, but the overall questioning was very like there wasn't any like
I think that's where our podcast comes in, is we're not afraid to say things a little bit more deep. Like I think Karl's still from that professional world and he just wants to ask questions rather than give his opinion. Yeah. Whereas, I think you're right. I think we'd like have him have more of an opinion and to really delve and get deeper and put them on the spot.
Yeah, now that he's not held in a contract.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because did he interview Albo while he was under contract?
Yeah.
That explains it all. So now he's obviously going to be a lot more unhinged now, and he has been. And he went to Piers Morgan. Remember when Piers Morgan?
Yeah,
and he just said. He just said that.
Yeah. It was really good how he did that interview with Tommy Robinson. I'm not sure if he's going to release that. Like it went up for a few hours. I didn't.
Pauline Hanson reposted it.
Yeah,
Pauline Hanson. It's still on. Yeah.
Okay.
Pauline Hanson reposted the whole interview. It was actually a good interview. It's still up there. But not on his page.
Why is it that, Tommy Robinson, controversial, blah, blah, blah. I agree with majority of things he said.
I've loved everything he said ever since 2006 when I was in school, when I was finishing high school in 2005. I remember Tommy Robinson starting around then.
Yeah, wow.
Or a bit before.
I think it's fair to say we love Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, like,
what we're going to say? Yeah.
Why should having a guest on a podcast be so controversial when your job is a journalist? You're sitting down to interview people and see their views, or his whole purpose of his podcast is to have different opinions, different views. I know now he's more leaning right-winged, but that doesn't matter. Like, if you're going to have a conversation with someone on his platform anyway, you should be allowed to speak about whatever you want, and he's just asking the questions. It's Tommy Robinson is the controversial one, not Karl.
I think as far as channel, I totally agree, and it shows the state of Australia, the political correctness. We don't want to offend anyone who's I don't know, whatever it is, Muslim, obviously, in that particular case. But I think if we go down the money hole with that whole situation, I think it was because advertisers. There's a lot of left-wing groups who get together and say, we're not going to buy from Coles. Not Coles, but whatever. Yeah. If they support this. So the advertisers who pay Channel 9
ransom.
got a little bit nervous and said, if we're associated with that, all of these activist groups will choose not to buy from us, and that sort of thing. So
they pull advertising, and obviously, TV advertising is very restricted as it is now because people aren't watching TV anymore. All they really have left now, anyone that wants to advertise on TV, they're like, oh yeah, okay, yes sir, they'll bow down because no one's advertising like they used to before, because no one watches TV anymore. So the only real advertising they have is, your sports bet, maybe a couple of big banks, and that's about it, maybe a big insurance company, but really no one's really advertising, so they've really got to hold on to those they've got to really hold on to those old institutions that are advertising on their platform because that's how they're surviving.
Yeah, it's all online media now,
But now they're getting
on the phone.
But now they're getting government grants to survive. Now they've given the media how much did they give? But they ignored all the right-wing independent journalists, all the right wing. Say they ignored Sky, but they gave, how much was it?
70 million, I think.
But how much to each one? $2 million to each one. But Sky didn't get it. Say independent journalists didn't get it if they were right wing, but all the left wing.
It's like state media, isn't it? It was really revealing because everyone always, in Vogue, we all realise that the mainstream media is just a voice for corporates and the government, etc. But this just really put it out that they're really paid literally directly from the government.
Yeah, well, I mean, money talks, right? Like, depending on how much they're offering, some people will just give up their morals and values for that.
That's exactly true.
It's alarming for me. Like, in China, obviously, they control the media out of fear because, we'll put you in jail if you say the wrong thing, if you don't say what they say. But, hey, it's happening here just under the fear of losing money or getting money. It's a similar control by the government.
Well,
but I just want to say, respect to Carl, though, because I think obviously he was getting millions. I'm not sure how much from
I don't know how much, but I know that I think his contract ended the end of this year anyway. So maybe he wanted a way out. Maybe he thought...
I think I heard it was like $1 million or $2 million a year contract.
Yeah, but we know it's not that easy to make money off YouTube or social media. So from him to go to millions to this, I mean, just guys, buy me a coffee.
But look, good on him. Look, I'm sure Carl's put his cards in the right place and he's made investments. He'll be okay.
Well, he was in the industry for decades.
I think he's okay. If he retired now, I'm pretty sure. He seems like a really smart guy. I'm pretty sure he's okay.
Yeah.
He can just do whatever passion project he wants. Surely, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're getting that amount of money for that many years, surely you would.
I don't know his personal financial situation, though, guys.
I'm sure he's okay.
I don't know.
Maybe you could be his accountant.
I've got a question for everyone. Now, Channel 7, when Pauline went to the UK to meet Tommy Robinson, Channel 7 followed along for Spotlight.
Yeah.
Now, I think Channel 7 even organised the interview with Tommy Robinson.
Potentially, because that reporter was following them the whole time.
Yeah.
She invited him along. But I actually think, obviously, he was a bit hard on her. But I think journalists should be hard on politicians. But I find that, yes, they did try to, sort of nitpick a couple of things. But overall, that Spotlight show was actually fairly good.
Yeah.
I think it was fairly good.
I agree.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it.
I like how Pauline...
I haven't watched all of it either.
No,
I watched the whole thing.
Snippets.
I watched the whole thing. I like how Pauline was able to handle herself and how she was able to answer these tough questions. He was trying to bait her.
What I've seen, I was okay with it. A lot of people came out and said it wasn't good, and I didn't do that because I didn't watch it all and see where it was pulled apart and made her look bad. Maybe there is sections where she sat down with the Muslim girls in the school.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah.
I mean, if you're any normal Australian who sees that is like, what are these girls talking about? They're talking absolute rubbish. None of us want to wear that nonsense. None of us want to have multiple
It's young
wives.
minds, young impressionable minds. They have not been to that part of the world. They don't know what that part of the world is like.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're in for.
It's not even complying with Australian law, for goodness sake.
No,
she said, do you believe in Sharia law?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah. Exactly like that.
Well, that's where you get the deportation out, surely.
But if you were to say to these young girls, all right, let's bring you to a country that's under the Islamic regime. Let's go to Afghanistan, right? I mean, I'm sure after probably an hour they will want to go home because they can't speak publicly. They can't speak loud. There's rules in place for women. You can't go to public parks, gyms. You can't go to the hospitals without a man. You'll be refused treatment if you turn up without a man. There's all these laws under the Islamic regime there, and I think
in
I
court they're worth half of a man. Like the evidence is worth half.
They right. I mean, they're ruled by men. There's slavery still exists over there.
You can hit your wife.
Yep, you're not allowed to flee from a domestic violence relationship with a woman.
I've read the clause that if your wife is disobedient, you are able to
Strike her.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's the
Yeah.
third.
If she obeys, then you can be gentle, but that there is a clause
So
in there
the
that says you
question
can
to
strike.
these girls is: so if you prefer Sharia law, wouldn't you prefer to live under a country that has Sharia law in it?
But so I think take their age into consideration as well. What they're high school.
They're young. They
16,
don't know.
17. They're probably just going with the flow of whatever their parents have taught them at home.
Correct.
And they're in an Islamic school, so they're in a bubble.
Yeah.
And it's similar to the ones that are in Lakemba. There's an Islamic school in Lakemba. Like the kids from there, like I've done a lot of work around the area. Because they've got their enclave, they don't really need to move in. They don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Everything they go home.
But this is the problem.
Yeah, they don't know it. They just don't know anything else. They go home and everything is that way, and they go to the shops and everything's that way, and they just don't leave the area. They've got little. They don't know what it's like on the outside world.
And they've got their imams there.
All their
handing
friends
out
are the
Sharia
same.
law rulings that they accept.
All their friends are the same. Their teachers are the same. The parents are the same. They're all got the same beliefs. So
But see, this is the thing. Say their parents did come here from, I don't know, some country.
Syria.
Some Muslim country. I would love to know, majority of them, what is the reason you left?
Yes.
Because I'm more than certain a lot of people do leave for a better life, right?
that's right.
So why are you still bringing the ideologies that you left and bringing it here? But not only that, you're then having children and pushing it into them as well, and
It's-
not allowing them to socialize with anyone outside of that bubble either, which is what you just said. But it doesn't make any sense. Go back to that country then.
Because I can tell you from like an older standpoint, my grandfather left Egypt because that's what half of my side is from.
So were they Coptic Christians?
Yes,
or-
it was a Christian country.
Yeah, now it's only 10%. It's very hostile.
So he saw it coming. They saw it coming. They saw the Palestine stuff. They saw Islam coming. That's why they left. They left. And then he met his wife in Lebanon as he was traveling. He traveled through Libya to Syria.
Was that near Bankstown?
He traveled from Egypt into Lebanon, met his wife. They went to Libya, they went to Sudan, ended up in Canada, then ended up here.
Wow.
All to escape what was going to happen.
So you're half Egyptian, or this is your grandparents? This
Quarter
is your
Egyptian,
grandparents, yeah.
quarter Lebanese, half Italian.
Okay.
And that's why, like, I've got a personal...
You are the full Mediterranean, man.
There you go. But I personally know why they left. And it was a very liberal country. Like, you could be dressed the way you dress normally over there back then. You could dress...
Yes.
I've seen how they used to... I've seen how my grandmother used to dress.
Yeah.
Normal.
Yeah.
No different to the way you dress now.
Places
Normal.
changed, yeah. It's been
And
taken
now...
over.
And you go to Afghanistan, if you go back to the Afghanistan example, I've seen footage of Afghanistan. They've got a different type of dress. They don't even have the niqab. They've got...
The blue burqa.
This blue thing that
Yeah.
looks... And it's got mesh.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know those things that they use to protect themselves from bees?
Mosquito nets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the
what it looks like. And
the
women
bee
just
suits.
look like they're walking around. They've got these. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Just like these sacks walking around.
Yeah.
With no face, no nothing. They got no. That means you got no face. You got no personality.
No.
You've got no independence.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with talking bad about it, Imagine it. Yeah.
But if,
Sorry.
like,
That's
these...
okay. That's okay.
These
That's
young,
good. It's
That's okay.
the women over
It's like-
in the women over in Afghanistan that are oppressed like that, they would kill to come here and be able to dress freely, show their hair, have an education,
Yeah.
go to the pool, go out to the beach. They would kill for that. So to have people here who are part of Islam saying, I like Sharia law, what a kick in the face for these young women over there that
They used
have
to
no
go,
voice.
They used to go to the beach back in the day, back in the
Yeah.
70s and everything. They used to go to the beach and do everything that every liberal woman would do here.
Yeah.
In 1979, like say the Iran thing, right?
Yeah,
Iran was the same.
Iran, yep.
But in 1979 to 1981, look up what happened to every single person that wanted to bring in the Islamic regime. I've talked about this before. Same as what's happening with Palestine right now. You got all the leftists protesting for Palestine. What happened to each one of the protesters in 1979 to 1981? They're all arrested afterwards. Once they brought in the Islamic dictatorship,
Yep.
then they turned on them. The Islamic, that's what's going to happen here. Which side is you got the left and you got the left and Islam making I've made a video about it. They've teamed up. Which
Yeah,
one's going to turn?
convenience, yeah.
Which one's going to turn on each other first?
So you're talking all the gender dysphoria, the homosexuals, the green flags, whatever it is.
All the victims.
The Aboriginal cause, whatever it is, they're being... Now you've got the Muslims all teaming up with... Who's that? Lydia Thorpe?
Yeah.
They've got imams
Yeah.
praising Lydia Thorpe and teaming
She's
up.
like this.
But-
She's in Parliament like
But say if they took power, who would be the first to go? Lydia Thorpe and all the gays.
That-
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
That's the thing.
It's
And-
convenience.
And that's what's very scary. You've got to be careful of the councillor, that councillor Oof. In,
Oh, my
Cumberland.
God.
You've got to be careful. He's trying to enter federal. We've got to be very careful. This because he is.
Yeah.
he represents what my grandfather left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've actually messaged him
Yeah.
and asked him if I could come and have a chat with him because he's at Auburn Library, I think, on Fridays at 12 o'clock.
I've been thinking of going too.
And he said,
Take
all
your
I can
camera.
discuss is, and I know this from running for local council myself, all he can discuss is the 3 R's: rates, rubbish, recreation, and roads. So why are you on social media talking about things that are
Exactly.
completely out of line?
He's giving you the illusion that you can have a chat to him about these things, but really all you can talk about is
Local problems.
issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? If you end up getting a chance to go down there, I'd love to come with you and have a chat to him, in a friendly chat. Because he's a well-spoken guy for what he is, for how long he's been in the country. He's a well-spoken guy.
He's also a pharmacist, so he's not, he's not an idiot. But
he put pharmacist on his name now on Facebook instead of, but before he used to be an NDIS provider.
So you don't think he's inbred?
I mean,
no,
his parents could be siblings. I don't know.
He's a well-spoken guy, and
I mean, that is an issue, isn't it? In that part of the world, documented.
But I would love to chat to him. I would love to sit there and just.
Well, even Pete and Drew doing the NDIS whatnot. They found him in his local council area.
Yep.
And Pete tried to ask him some questions and he blatantly refused. He ran away from him. So it's like you can go on social media and go on and call these 2 boys who are doing
Mopeds.
God's work, mopeds.
Yes.
And, have your whole big rant about the NDIS and the statistics of how many are in Lakemba, whatever. But when they confront you, you run away.
Very true.
It makes no sense.
It brings me to what's going on in Spain this week. Obviously, we've all seen the footage of, we don't know the numbers. Some people say there's like 10,000. Some people say there's 30,000. Some people say there's hundreds. The different media reports all say it differently. But yeah, what did you think when you saw those people swimming and scrambling onto the Spanish land? It's
a deep story.
Symbolic, isn't it?
You go first, but it's deep.
I don't know enough
deep.
about the land that they've come onto. I have seen...
It's called Ceuta. It's an African territory that Spain has control over.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not technically Spain, but it's owned, it's run by Spain. So it's an African enclave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a very long swim that they really
No.
had. I think
they
the
basically
guards
just went-
let them
It was
do
like 3
100
miles
meters.
or something.
It's little. They get up to a beach, go around a fence,
yeah.
and then that was it. And then for a temporary short time, they were told from Morocco.
Tell us the context, man, because obviously it's normally guarded, right? So these people can't do it. It's not like there was a big surge. It's just like the guards disappeared.
There's a deeper story to it. Now, everybody on the right's up and arms saying, look, they're invading. Yes, they are. But there is a geopolitical tension here. What's going on? So you've got Spain, which has turned completely left-wing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They have gone and done a deal with Algeria.
Trump doesn't want to deal with Spain at all.
They've turned their back on Trump. They've turned their back on Israel.
Yes.
They've turned their back on the West completely. They've become completely left-wing. Now, they have made a deal. They met with Algeria's president to get a deal for natural gas. Morocco didn't like that. So Morocco's turned on the tap to turn on some migration. So just after they did that deal, they changed the immigration law to say, look, they told everyone in Morocco, look, if you go through the border, Spain has to process you. We're not going to control the border now. Yeah. How convenient that timing was. So now, as soon as they got the word out, you've got a whole bunch of military-age men running into Spain to get processed legally because Morocco doesn't want to do any free border patrol anymore because they've gone and done a deal with the enemy of Morocco because Algeria and Morocco have been enemies for a very long time. So if they do the deal with Algeria, that means Spain is also an enemy of Morocco as well.
These people who swam to the place, as you just said, they're all young men. There's no women and children.
But they're just
the other thing we pointed out, Madge, they've all got new clothes on and they've all got nice hair.
And football jerseys.
They look very good.
They look like they've just been. Yes, they just look like they've been to the. They just look like they've just come out of the shower.
They look very healthy, not malnutrition.
But it's basically just
pimples.
It's basically Morocco showing its dominance and showing, look, we can fuck you up and we can fuck Europe.
Be careful,
because all we need to do is just turn on the tap of immigration and let some people through. We can fuck your country up.
And the other thing about the demographic of the people who are going, like there's a lot of problems in the Middle East and things, but there's a lot of religions, different religions in the Middle East, right? There's Yazidi, there's all sorts of religions over there. But who are the people who are constantly streaming into Europe who are invading? They seem to have one thing in common, and they all seem to be from the one religion. It's always them.
I wonder what it is.
It's always them, isn't it?
Yeah, the peaceful bunch that they are.
No.
Invasion.
Yeah, it's a sad reality. But besides the Emirates, obviously because they've got lucky with the oil, and then they've created a good society because they actually fear the leadership. That's why they've got a good functioning society. And you've got 100 different nationalities living in peace because they fear the king. Don't fuck with the king of Dubai and you can do whatever you want. No tax.
And they look after the local people.
Yeah,
the citizens are looked after. Yeah.
But every other country that they touch turns to dust.
I've been to Dubai and it was different.
Yeah, it's sterile.
Yeah,
I find it sterile.
Like,
it's a
I didn't
tourist.
feel-
It's a touristy.
Yeah.
It is very sterile.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't want to live there. It's very hot and it's very sterile. A lot of
Oh my God, it's
Indians.
so hot.
A lot of Indians.
Well, that's who built the country. Pakistanis,
Exactly.
Bangladeshis, and Indians. They bring them in
Oh.
as cheap labor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they say that India's got a caste system of low class and high class people, but they've also got the same thing. Like, they've got this caste of people that have come in from overseas to build the country from India and stuff. They're not treated the same.
Oh.
No.
They're not treated the same as the people.
It's not a good life for them, no.
They're made to live on the outskirts.
Yeah.
You see them all. They move there. They do social media videos in front of a Lamborghini because they live 20 minutes away from the city. But really, they're living in slums outside of Dubai.
It's a product of poverty because they literally have to find work. They can't find work in India, so they catch a boat over there and they're literally sending money back to their wife and kids at home, and they have to live there in a room bunked up with heaps of people. One point I wanted to make, we don't have boats arriving from Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, of people trying to... they're from a Christian background. I'm not just talking about Westerners or other people. I'm just saying it just seems to be people from one religion. We'll have people from Pakistan or Malaysia or this or that. We don't have Chinese on boats. We don't even have Indians on boats. We don't have the people from the Pacific Islands on boats. So these are all third world countries, but they're not trying to illegally come to these countries. It just seems to be one group that seems to be doing it. And they don't seem to... They want to invade. They don't seem to have any respect for our laws.
They don't see... They see the whole world as a plaything. This is a transitory stop for them. This is a test. So basically what they do in this world is going to govern what happens to them in the next world. They're really here because they believe in the afterlife. They believe in their paradise, that they say.
And they're 72 virgins.
Correct. So they don't see this world as a real thing. So they don't see it as a finite resource. They don't care about the climate. They don't care about any of that stuff. They're just here to
But they don't even care about our civilization. They have no respect
they just
for what's
wanna
being
use
built
it.
over here through a different lens. They just want to burn it down and milk it for what it is, while not embracing any of our civilization, ideology, religion, culture, or anything. They just want to stick to their thing. They don't care if it doesn't work. They just show a distinct lack of respect.
Yeah.
Well, they're not made to respect anything. They're not.
They're not taught that way.
Because people are afraid. People are afraid of them.
And that's right. And so we can't expect them to change. But the governments thinking that they can assimilate, I think, are just being very naive.
The country's assimilating to them.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you, quote unquote, disrespect their prophet, it's a whole different story, because I love to do that. I have no respect for Islam. I have said many times before, I don't hate you if you're Muslim.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't respect the ideology of Islam, and I'm allowed to feel like that. But for them, if
agree.
you disrespect their prophet, oh my God, how dare you? But respect is gained. Respect is earned, not gained. I'm not going to just give my respect just because it's labelled a religion and a prophet. I don't give a shit. In what I've read, he was a warlord, a pedophile, a piece of shit, and I'm allowed to feel that way.
Right.
And if that's how I've interpreted the context of it,
Yes.
well, that's how I feel. So if you have to give respect to them just because they label it, everything's Islamophobic, blah, 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 well, where's the same in return? Because it's not a two-way street in their eyes. It's only a one-way street.
Well, everybody's got... You're right, because everybody... they brought up this new term called Islamophobia because they're starting to realise that it's... They used to say it's racist. Now everyone's realising, look, it's not a race. So they brought up this new term, Islamophobia. But look, I'm sorry, but everybody has got a fear of something, and especially a fear of that, because look what's happening around the world. Look what happened at Bondi. Why do you think people have a fear of it?
Rational.
And every time you talk about it, you're met with violence. You get violent comments
Every
You get
single
violent
day.
messages. I've copped it as well.
Yeah.
Getting threats on your life and things like that, and then I've had chats with these guys and they've ended up being all right afterwards. But they really get really rage baited.
Yeah, first...
And that's the thing. The government is scared of them. The government is scared for their because they'll be met with violence. That's the thing. They're afraid.
I actually had a message from, I won't name them, but I'll say they're from they're part of a bikie gang, but they're the head honcho of this gang.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who this person was. So they were just like, hey, just take care of yourself, be careful. Like the things you're saying will get a certain group of people pretty angry. And I've experienced it myself. And I was like, oh, like just chatting, like, thanks for the advice, yeah, I understand that.
Very cryptic.
And then we just started chatting a bit more, and he said that he's like left the area that he was in and whatnot. And I was like, oh, why? And he's like, oh, I would have probably not been here should I stayed where I was. And I'm thinking, what does this guy do? Like, why is he telling me this? Anyway, I looked him up, and he's the head honcho of one of the gangs. And I said to him, I've just realised who you are. And he was like, well, I'm not giving you this advice for no reason. He's like, I've seen it, I've been through it, and I am where I am now because of pretty much that. And I was like, right, okay. I probably should be a bit more... I mean, look, I wouldn't say I'm not careful, but I'm not saying things to incite violence on these people. I'm not going around
raising
saying...
awareness.
Yeah.
You're not being violent.
No.
The thing is that any time that they make a violent comment, or they meet you with violence, or they threaten it, they are proving your point.
Absolutely. And it's every single time. I think I've probably had maybe 2 or 3 Muslim men actually message me and say, hey, look, I don't appreciate your views on this. Can I send you things that, might change your mind? And I'm like, yep, I'm welcome it. Like, send me things. Yeah. Is it going to change my mind? Probably not. But the fact they've approached me in a nice way, I will give them the decency to have a decent conversation.
If someone's forthcoming like that, 100% give them the respect, give them something. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
But a lot of the moderate ones do not do that.
No.
A lot of the moderate ones are just like, look, respect my prophet, otherwise he's going to get you.
Yeah.
I'm not extremist, but he is.
Yeah.
So, don't look at me, but he's going to...
Why don't you call him out? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. They go
to him.
That's what moderates are. There's no moderates in the street, say after Bondi, go, not jumping on the street going, look, we have a problem here. They're not acknowledging a problem. They're just pointing, look, I'm not an extremist, but if you carry on the way, he's going to get you. He'll get you.
Yeah.
That's how they carry on.
It's an interesting contrast. Like, I do quite a bit of stuff about the Indian community as well. And I get quite a few positive comments from Indians who have been here for a long time. And obviously I get, 70% negative ones from silly ones.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting contrast, whereas I've never received any positive or inquisitive or courteous or polite messages from the Muslim community, if that makes sense.
It's unfortunate because... if they really weren't the way they say they are, then they would prove that, but they don't. So I think I said this last time.
Aren't there some Muslims out there who would rather less Muslim immigration because they came here for a different culture and a different way of life? Like a lot of Indians who have been here for decades, there weren't many of them, and they more likely came from a Christian background, but a lot of them are concerned about the quality of people who they're bringing in and the mass amounts of people they're bringing in from India these days, and they're actually against the mass immigration as well. So it's interesting, and it's a little bit like you were saying the other day, the Sikh people in England, they actually said sorry about what happened to...
that young boy, Henry. Yeah.
Or who got knifed, and they apologised, but we don't hear these sort of admissions from the Muslim community.
No. Well,
they don't. That's right, yeah.
Even I put up a video the other day about how the government are now spending $66 million to combat Islamophobia after we've lost, 15 innocent people at Bondi.
Make that make sense, yeah.
And some of the comments, I had a few people in the comments saying, but they were Jew. And I was like, they were innocent people,
That's
regardless.
The thing. It's become so trendy to hate. It's become trendy to hate on Indians now, but it's also become very trendy to hate on Jews. So it's actually...
I'm probably leading the trend with Indians, but go on.
Yeah, that's okay.
But you're not inciting violence.
No, you're not inciting violence. That's right. But it's become trendy to hate Jews. It all started with Kanye, and he made that song. The song HH. And everybody started, this is so cool, I'm going to hate on Jews for no reason. Like, you don't go and see a random Jewish person on the street and go and slap them just because they're Jewish. That's absolutely absolute stupidity.
Yeah.
But because it's trendy online now to hate them, everybody thinks that they've been awakened. There's this huge enlightening of line, my life is shit because of the Jews. My life is shit because of this. No. It
really plays into the Muslims' hands, doesn't it? I think some of their propaganda... I mean, the Jewish community is very small in Australia. They're not a cultural problem or
they've all done. A lot of them done well with themselves too.
They've contributed massively. They've done
well. They're always I don't know why, but they always end up being CEOs of companies.
Yeah. Look, you don't see them running around Bondi killing Muslims, or
No,
I wouldn't be afraid
that's exactly
of
right.
them.
And why, as you just said, after the Bondi event. Yeah, we can debate the new laws. I think a lot of Jewish people didn't even like the new hate speech laws and whatever they've done to protect them. But why are they bringing out Islamophobia after that? It's so woke.
There's a communist
it's
dictator.
So woke. Why aren't they just doing things to protect the Australian people as a whole?
Well, Albert did say that in his speech. Every Australian deserves to feel safe in this country. Well, okay. Well, I don't feel safe knowing that there's an influx of extremists in this country and they're just going around killing people with rifles for the sake of it.
How about we put that $70 million into teams that can go and raid some prayer halls or raid some people we know have ISIS flags, or raid some people from the Palestinian Action Group. You don't have to put them in jail, but let's use that money to practical prevention on the ground,
Yeah.
protecting all Australians.
I agree.
It's even protecting other Muslims. There could have been Muslims on the beach there, I suppose.
Oh, and look, there probably was.
Well, there was Ahmed Al-Ahmed.
Yeah.
He was there. You know, imagine if he became a victim of the whole thing. You know, he became a hero, but I don't think he had the fact that he was Muslim in his head to go and save. He was just being a decent human being.
Exactly.
And then they'll hid behind him. Look, there's a good Muslim over there. Look, Ahmed Al-Ahmed is a good. But then he turns around and says, "I love Trump." When all the leftists were waiting behind him, and then he goes to America and gets an award, and
that made me like him.
And then his family comes and wants to break his legs because of the money.
Yeah, I think we said that last time that he's got like money problems, or there's some kind of court case or something with his family.
The family wants part of the $2 million that he earned or whatever.
But hey, we've all got skeletons in the closet. So.
And of course, he owned a tobacconist in Sutherland.
Correct. I thought you got,
that's another thing that we could probably talk about, right? Is did you know that I've been doing a lot of delving into the tobacco thing? Right, I'll touch on it quickly. If you want to continue, we'll continue. I'll touch on it very quickly. Right now, they are visa farms. So a lot of people that come here into the country, say India, Bangladesh, whatever, they can't find a job.
Yes.
The owners of these tobacconists are going up to them and saying, hey, you know, and I've said this to you before, they're saying, hey, we'll give you a job and we'll sign off your visa, because tobacconists are registered businesses that will allow you to, you know, if you do enough time, become to get your visa.
Sponsor, yeah.
So they're sponsoring people, making them probably work for under minimum wage or for free, so they can go get their visa.
Yeah,
that's why. And
it's very difficult for a lot of these new migrants. If they're here on a student visa, they can only work for 24 hours a week. The rent is through the roof. They're sending money home, and then there's the threat of not getting the next visa. So
who are these people that are bringing in tobacco? So Ahmed Al-Ahmed's connected, right? He's obviously connected to some sort of. Look, I'm not making accusations here.
Sounds like you are.
But he's connected to somebody that. He's connected to somebody that's got. He's connected to somebody that's got access to the illicit tobacco. Now, we know who's got illicit tobacco. It's obviously those crime families and probably the people you talk about.
Do you shop there, Imagine it?
No. Well, yes, I have.
$30 vape.
Yeah, they used to be 30. Look, I'm not paying the government that much tax. They get stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, they can go get stuff, but
classic.
The same people that control the tobacco control the building. The same people that control the building control the unions. The same people that control the unions control labour.
A lot of people eating off this table. There's
a very deep story going on here. Illicit tobacco is funding. I reckon it's funding a lot of building and a lot of things that are happening. It's very interesting.
And part of the problem to the economy is that the tobacconists can say, I'm only going to pay you below the minimum, but I'll help you with your visa. So therefore, people are working. A lot of migrants are getting taken advantage of, exploited, working for less. But it's bad for the whole economy, because then all of a sudden the demand on wages is lower, and it flows through, so everyone's wages are lower.
Yeah, the quality decreases.
And that's the shit thing about Sydney in general, like how the only businesses that are popping up, and the only ones, and Dave Hughes actually mentioned this. I mentioned this ages ago. But the only real businesses that are surviving, the only ones that are popping up, are tobacconists and massage parlours.
Yeah, and the nails, the beauticians.
Yeah,
that's about it. Yeah, and nail salons. Like I noticed in Kirrawee yesterday, there's a tiny shopping strip. It's about 30 to 40
How
meters.
do they pay these rent?
Yeah, they're both. There was two tobaccos, one on each side in Kirrawee, and I've just noticed another one open up. So there's three in this tiny little shopping strip.
There's a lot of competition.
Why is there three tobacconists and there's two massage parlours? And then a couple of little food shops. But why do you need three tobacconists?
And you even get these classy tobacconists, like at the big shopping centres. You walk in, they've got a few lollies. That they hardly sell. They sell a few trinkets. And even my local one, they closed down for like a month from over Christmas for a whole month. Like, what shop can close down for a month and pay the rent on that place?
It's especially commercial rent. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
That's a good point. How are they surviving? And you don't really see many people in there. What are they doing? And obviously, because they're getting cheap people, like they're getting people that want to work for cheap. They're probably not many overheads as far as wages are concerned. But obviously, the rent's a thing. How are they paying their rent?
They must be selling some expensive things in the back.
I know. I know that a few of them. I have a friend that was working at a few, and they got raided by Health New South Wales. Well, not raided. They got questioned by Health New South Wales, and they come in and they raid, blah, blah, blah. So they now only open between like 5 o'clock to like 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Because then these
Yes.
government workers aren't on the clock.
Because they're not on the clock. That's correct.
Yeah.
This is actually correct. So yes, this has actually happened, right? And there's another thing. I've noticed a lot of my tradie friends who are being refused vapes as well, right? A lot of them are being refused vapes and illicit tobacco. And that's another thing. And you're right, because a lot of these government operatives that are coming in, they are wearing tradie uniforms. And
Okay.
they're wearing tradie uniforms and going in and then, saying, have you got Ali Babas or whatever? And then they go, oh, I'm from this, you're busted. So now a lot of guys that wear tradie uniforms are being refused.
Yeah.
vapes.
Yeah.
Or they're being told, come back after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or
And they
whatever.
won't because
They won't.
they're off the clock. They ain't getting paid to do that.
But that's very true. They I actually went to. I've actually got a video of it. I've got it on my phone. There is a shop. It's in Kirrawee. I don't give a shit what they think. It's in Kirrawee. There's a big sign at the front and a big sign at the counter. It says, "We do not sell illegal tobacco or vapes in this store. Do not ask our staff. Do not argue with our staff about it." I had my camera out when I went and bought a vape, and I had the camera on the sign, and then I filmed myself picking up a vape from the guy over the counter. So they've got that sign there to give the illusion that they're not selling them.
Oh my God.
But I've ended up actually getting, actually got this one from that store.
Shout out to that shop.
They still sell them. It's just that you got to go in. Yeah, you got to go in there at night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, like, I'm all for loopholes.
Fuck it.
I'm all for loopholes. Fuck the government.
They're uncensored.
They've created this situation on
Yeah.
purpose.
They can't get tax out of it, money out of it, so let's make it illegal.
Because these businesses are still obviously, I don't know if they are paying tax, but I don't know if they're paying politicians off. I don't know.
Imagine how much money they got during COVID, applying for grants and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, and they don't need to.
They're still living off it.
We've created an environment where organised crime does not need to sell illicit substances anymore, like white stuff and whatever party substances that whatever. They don't need to do that anymore to make money. All you need to do is open a tobacconist, open an NDIS shop, and that's it. Then you can make all the money you want, and the government's going to pay you. They don't need to do organised crime anymore. Anymore because the government's given them this. And look, they're not checking.
It's legalised.
And they're not checking every container. All these illegal cigarettes come from the Middle East.
Yeah.
They're not checking every container. Let's be real. How many hundreds of thousands of containers arrive every day? They're not checking every container. They might have one container. They're like, look, they account for 1 or 2 containers to get caught, but then there's another 5 or 6 that'll get through.
It's factored in. Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but have we talked about, like, Pauline Hanson this week? She was talking about the monoculture and how people choose to come to Australia, and they've chosen the culture here in Australia. So it's not prejudice or anything to expect people to fit in with the Australian culture because they've actually chosen to come here. And I had an interesting thing happen this week where an Indian commented on my post, and he was saying that he was complaining about the 200 years that the British ruled India and
all they say in every comment.
How much trauma they've gone through and how much has been stolen from them. And, we're just getting our own back now with all the Indians coming to our country and
We're invading you now.
Yeah, they're so cool. And I just said back to them, so you've literally moved to a country that is ruled by the British again. You must absolutely love our culture.
It's a great point.
Do you see how silly that makes you look? And so
what was his response to that?
He came up and said, I'm not ruled by anyone. But the point is, they're complaining about what the British did to India. Well, the British have been gone, so shouldn't they be all happy over there in India with their culture thriving and everything?
Yeah, why'd you move?
Exactly. Why?
Well, that's true. They go online. All they say is, British, you're on Centrelink, I have a higher IQ and a better job than you. That's what they say online. Now,
they failed to tell you that they're married to their cousin, though.
That's true.
Prearranged.
But they're saying to you, no, we don't like the British, whatever, and we don't support the British. But if they've got such a good job and such a high IQ, they're obviously paying tax to the ATO, and the ATO is a Commonwealth institution. So they're paying money in taxes to the British. So they're coming here.
We have a Union Jack on our flag.
They're coming here to work.
We have a king. He is your king. You are ruled by him.
They're coming here to work and they're paying tax, and part of that tax goes back to the royal family. So you're still paying for the royal family whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You should be supporting. Why don't you stay?
And you obviously love our culture because it's not easy to come here. They've got to pay the university fees, the visa fees. They're just falling over themselves to get to our culture, which they are complaining ruined their lives in India. So make that make sense.
Yeah, a lot of them are fine. I speak to them a lot. Like when I see Uber drivers and stuff, like picking up food, I actually talk to them. Sorry, what's it? I actually
I'm just looking at the dog.
I was wondering where he was. Peppy, come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Just come here.
We've got the dog, the special guest here as well.
Oh yeah, Pepe. Come back, Pepe.
Bring Pepe up. Bring Pepe up.
What's Pepe's real name, Imagine? Let's introduce him to Australia.
All right.
His whole name that's on his
Everyone's
microchip.
Pepe.
Everyone's already seen him all over social media.
If we're wrapping up, he can be the final part. All right. Okay.
Oh,
His name
Beautiful.
is Pepe Sanchez Lopez Pedro Morales Gonzalez Barato Malasso Mondastos III.
He's an immigrant.
oh, he's so sweet.
That's he's
Very
one of
relaxed.
Ever since I've been doing videos, he's been with me ever since. Like, he used to fit in my hand, and he's been doing videos ever since. So he's quite famous now. A lot of people recognise me in public because of
Yeah.
So
Everyone follow Mad Unit AU, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
TikTok. He's so random with his
Annika as well,
content. Oh yeah, definitely.
And chats with Colsey.
Yeah, follow
And
Annika
Play On.
Uncensored. She is uncensored, and she's got some problems with her account at the moment. She's always in problems with her account. Her account's under threat, so jump on there, follow Annika Uncensored. So she's got lots of support, so they can't ban her because she says some very important things and gets the word out there with lots of common sense. So Instagram, Facebook, for Annika Uncensored. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure to have you guys, and hopefully we can do it again soon and attack all these important topics because it's so important to get this to get the political correct speech off our shoulders, to be able to speak freely. I know Pauline Hanson's spoken about it. She wants to get free speech in the Constitution, and I think the more people who speak up, the less they can target and attack. And
There's no harm in having, a conversation. That's all it is. No one's going to attack you at the end of the day. Well, I won't, but
yeah.
physically anyway. But I think having a conversation is important.
Trying to influence government policy effectively.
Yeah, and there's hard topics and conversations to speak about, but that's all it is. It's words. So if you can't have hard conversations about things like this and you want to stay in a bubble and be ignorant, I don't think that's okay. I think you should be aware of what's happening around you.
Very cool.
I agree. My final message is the fact that we don't have free speech in our constitution is a red flag in itself. That's why they use us as a testing ground for every single thing. That's why they used us as a testing ground for COVID. That's why they use us as a testing ground for all sorts of rules. The social media ban, they tested out here first because we don't have free speech rules. We don't really have freedom of anything in our constitution at all. So they can get away with whatever they want.
Different to the USA where they have
Actually have it.
different setup. Yeah.
That's right. They've got the right to arms. They've got the right to free speech. We don't have any of that.
Well,
That
this
is a very
week,
sad
Dr.
thing.
Fauci, what did he do?
Pled the fifth,
He doesn't
111
don't
times.
have to answer anything.
Yeah.
On the
Crazy.
advice of counsel, I decline to answer your question under my rights under the
No,
Constitution.
like, what colour is the carpet? Yeah.
He goes,
Trust the science.
under advice of counsel,
What is your name?
under advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer your questions under my Fifth Amendment right under the Constitution.
Yeah, wow.
111 times.
It's nuts. Yeah, you can't do that here.
You look silly, Dr. Fauci.
But pleading the fifth is, makes him look guilty.
It makes him look guilty, yeah.
Absolutely.
But see, I did a video about it. I knew it. I knew something would happen straight away. As soon as that grilling happened, everybody was talking for a day. I thought it might get about a week. Literally the next day, Spain happens.
The lefties work.
So now
Distraction.
distracting us away from that, just like they distracted us from the Epstein.
Yeah.
If no one gets done from the Epstein files,
I don't think anyone will.
That's why I think the whole system's cooked.
100%, because
Do you
these
agree?
people run the system. These people are the people that are in government. There's no peace when they're in government. There's no justice.
The point with Fauci pleading the fifth on all of them, like for instance, if they said, "What's your name?" and he answered the name, then they would say, "You answered that question, but you couldn't answer the other question."
That's why I just said no to everything.
Couldn't answer anything.
But oh god, I know we got to end, but you should have seen what they did to the beagles. The beagles.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I think anyone that can hurt an animal in the name of science, and I mean outside of that as well, you piece of shit.
Yeah,
I agree.
that
Oh my
was
God.
too far, and using aborted babies and things like that, it's just crossing the line into very evil stuff.
These things now are, okay, they're in plain sight. They're there for people to research. There will still be people that will not believe it.
They'll defend it.
They'll defend it. They'll believe it. They'll say it's the science. Trust the experts. Blah, 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 blah. The science has pleaded the fifth 111 times.
Correct.
How are you going to trust that?
I call these people
Like that.
just they're self-appointed guardians of the status quo. They're just happy with the way things are that
Yeah.
they are. That's why it's always boomers. Boomers always still protect the system because the system's been so good to them. They bought a house for $100,000. Now it's 1.5 million.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
going to
the same
protect that system.
I don't know. I have a big boomer audience. Hey guys, a lot of them are on board with Pauline Hanson because obviously Pauline's a boomer. as well. But yeah, I suppose the ones who the system is working for them, they don't want it to change. But I think, yeah, the good thing with Pauline is she's bringing back a Australian first mentality, vocally.
Please explain. I've been in love with her ever since I was young.
Yeah, that was so good, that video where they were talking about, this was like 20, 30 years ago, explain Islamophobia. And she's like, please explain. Like,
well, yeah.
What is that? Like, what is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm still confused. What is it? Makes no sense to me.
Irrational fear. An irrational fear of something.
Yeah, I'm not scared of them.
No, brilliant, guys. Thank you, Annika, and thank you, Mad Unit. And shout out to Albert, from Play On Studios, who hosts us here. He's a legend, does a great job. So thanks, guys, for watching. Put your comments below. Share it far and wide. Let's get free speech out there and defend Aussie culture. We'll see you on the next one.